Well, I wanted to talk about an issue that I believe might end up being a problem in America on many different levels. When it comes to real estate, I know that it's an avenue for many Americans to make money and to have careers, and um, it's a way for people to get ahead. I've been noticing as I'm working in two different states that we are adopting a behavior that I believe is not ethical. It's not it's not a becoming American behavior. It's not a behavior that's going to help Americans, but more or less it's a greedy behavior. It's a greedy adopted behavior that stems from wanting to achieve and live the American dream. Um, and what I'm getting at is a lot of people today are buying houses where they want to make a profit and flip it, but where is the guidelines and the people teaching about ethics? Um, to me, it just seems like I've seen more raggedy houses because right now it is a seller's market being retailed that I find a little troubling. I've seen houses with mold. I've seen houses with um, water damage, roof damage, mold damage, just various problems. And yet, some of the sellers want to sell these houses as if it's prime real estate, like there's nothing wrong with them, just need a little bit of repairs. Well, when you have mold in a home, that's not a small repair. In fact, mold can be a very major problem, which I'm not going to tap into. But these are things that you should take into account when you're repairing a property. If you're going to repair it properly, or if you're just going to sell it and flip it, I just feel like there's a greed aspect among a lot of people today, not all, but where they're so worried about making some money, they're not really taking into account how they can be risking the health of people who are buying the home, or they can be maxing those people out to where they'll never be in an equity position for years. I looked at properties that were 100 grand, 150 grand a year and a half ago, and because it is a seller's market, they were asking $320,000 for the same houses. And it's like, what happens if the market drops? Then whoever buys this house is stuck in this house and they have no equity. It's not favorable to the buyer. And I think what I'm really getting at is that as a country, we all push the gray area. We all don't do everything perfectly. We're human beings. But somewhere along the line, who are going to step in the gap and who is going to step up and allow people to get ahead, allow people to have something that's affordable? Are we going to turn into another LA in the South where people can't find places to live because they're renting the places too high? They can't find houses to buy because they're not affordable. But the math in what people are trying to do, it's turning into greed. You know, the real estate rat, the real estate guy who wants to buy every single property that he sees out there, every good deal, every auction, every foreclosure, not thinking about helping anybody. The real estate rat. The real estate rat, the man that wants to, if the rent is going for $1,100, he can push another $20, make it $1,120. Well, if you're making $400 profit a month, maybe you should reduce it 100, make it more affordable for that family. You don't have to be the real estate rat. You don't have to buy everything. Maybe you see 3 good deals and you buy just one. It's like going into a grocery store or a place and they have everything on sale, and you're seeing items you've never seen before, and you know you could take these items and sell them somewhere else, but you choose to leave a few for the next guy. Maybe somebody else can benefit from them. I was in Home Depot not too long ago, and they had some fixtures that were very expensive, and they were marked down to like $30 each. These are $200-300 fixtures. And I bought a couple, and, I thought to myself, well, maybe I'll just buy one this time. Let somebody else buy the other one that's left so they can get a good deal. Maybe we need that kind of thinking in the real estate world. There's some people out there, they're on a relentless hustle and grind to find every good deal, every good property, so they can add it to their portfolio and be that real estate rat. So they could look back and say, oh, I got 100 properties, which 100 of those people you're overcharging. You're not helping anybody else out. You're not making the American dream attainable for the next person. There's nothing wrong with being rich, and there's nothing wrong with making money, but are you on a relentless real estate rat hustle that will, in the end, hurt many Americans? It hurts us all to drive through downtown Houston and see 2,000-3,000 people sleeping in tents. Somewhere or another, that hurts everybody. It should hurt you just to see those things, but somewhere along the line, we're doing something really wrong. And I believe that the real estate game has become a new avenue for many Americans that unfortunately may be limited to options as far as employment, have found a new way to make money. But I do believe that there's not enough checks and balances to keep this fair for the buyer and the seller. And what I'm afraid of is that as our jobs diminish, as our ability as Americans to actually create and make anything in this country, it's going to get to the point where real estate is going to be one of those streams of avenue that actually hurts the American economy, because people are going to begin to outprice themselves. And the market is going to get to a point where, many, many thousands of people will not be able to have a place to live. Apartments today, 12, 13, 1400 that were $400 or $500 a month. I know there's inflation, but if we were to do the math and be practical, if somebody working in fast food or somebody working at Walmart or Target or Macy's, if we were to go out on a limb and say they made $2,400 a month, which many of the people don't, after taxes they take home $1,500. What are they supposed to spend $1,500 their entire check on a 1-bedroom apartment that's 500 square feet? What about their food? What about electricity? What about car notes? What about credit cards, phone bill, insurance, daycare, baby food? Somewhere things aren't adding up. And I thought I would speak about this because too often than not, I hardly ever meet anybody that's an investor or in real estate, just in general, saying, oh, I'm trying to do this project so that I can help people have a place to live. Or I'm trying to work on this project so I can help people get a better job and a better income. I haven't heard of anybody, and maybe I'm not moving around enough circles, but I've yet to meet anybody prospering actually talking about helping somebody else other than themselves. I talked to a lady in Short I talked to a lady about a house she's selling today, and the retail value of the house was 180 grand. She was asking 185. And then the house got hit by the storm, the last two major storms. And the house has a hole in it. The house has mold damage. The house has 2 rooms that are absolutely spreading in mold. And she was like, well, I'm open to offers. And I was like, well, what kind of offer are you thinking? She's like, oh, maybe 175, 180. It's like, you got $40,000 worth of damage here, minimum. And the retail value is what you're asking for the house. So how is anybody in their right mind supposed to make this work? So in essence, what you're really asking for the house is $40,000 more than what the appraised value is, because you want somebody to come in and pay full retail and then dip another 40 grand in fixing it. That's best case scenario. Chances are it probably needs another 20 on top of that. So you want somebody to buy this beat up, raggedy, mold infested house with a hole in it for full retail, and you might come down on the price at $5,000. Real estate rats. I think, if anything, I'm just speaking out on this because there's somebody out there who wants to win in real estate. But there's somebody out there who wants to win in real estate and make a difference. Maybe provide one family an opportunity to own a home or rent a home at a decent price, to where they're not working 90 hours a week just to have a place or a roof over their head. And we pretty much know the end story. The end story probably is more dark than it is more light. But the path I'm seeing, it's going to go dark real quick, because our priorities and ethics are so poor. And then when you try to talk to somebody and bring them up to speed as to what is legitimate, then they get offensive. If you say, hey man, I saw you had 8 properties and you're renting them out for $2,500 a piece. Have you considered maybe renting them out for a little less money so that, some people who are struggling can actually have a nice place to live? Oh no, then they get defensive. People get defensive. They don't want to hear it. Oh, they're going to destroy our house and they're going to be in here smoking crack and this and that. Nobody told you to get a crackhead family and give a deal to come into property. What I'm trying to say is, if it rents out for $2,200 and you're asking $2,400, why do you have to max it out? You're an investor. You're already making money. Why not keep it very reasonable so that people aren't walking around with a rope around their neck trying to pay rent? You're going to make money anyway. It's free money. You're not working for it. Not per se. You understand what I'm saying. We need to adopt more of a less selfish, loving neighbor attitude than this penny pinching, poverty-minded, greedy, take over the world type mentality. Because the way things are going, we're going to have a generation of a lot of heartless, selfish, cold people. And the more we keep, this is a description of America right now. America, the land of the free, the land of the brave, the land of opportunity. Something has gone wrong, to drive in major cities and see so many people living like pirates and vagabonds, living like savages, living under bridges, setting up entertainment centers underneath the freeway, living in their cars, taking a dump in a Home Depot bucket as if it's a toilet, living in homemade tents made of mattresses and boxes. I'm going to leave it at that. I just thought I'd talk about maybe this is part of a solution, or maybe this is the opportunity for somebody to extend help and care by making a place for somebody affordable and attainable, so that you can give back with your life to one person or one family, or maybe multiple families.